No city in the United States is home to more Colombians than Miami. Tonight, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami plays host to the third and final game in Group K play for both Colombia and Portugal. Tonight, top spot in the group is on the line. Colombia win the group by getting at least a point, while Portugal can win the group despite their disastrous start to this World Cup with victory on what could very well feel like a true road game tonight for the Europeans. As tonight in Miami, it is Colombia and Portugal. Group K comes to a close with this game and, of course, simultaneous action between Uzbekistan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So, it is, of course, a very big night in Miami, and the group standings on this last day of group play, you see in Group K, Colombia on 6 points, 2 wins from 2 games, a 3-1 victory in Mexico City 10 nights ago over Uzbekistan, then a 1-0 victory over Congo DR. They come to the United States for the first time in this tournament after playing their first 2 games in Mexico. Meanwhile, for Portugal, it was a disastrous start, starting with a draw against DR Congo, but then thrashing Uzbekistan, getting that goal difference up and getting to 4 points, meaning that again tonight, with a victory, Portugal would win the group. Both of these teams are through already into the knockout round and the round of 32. So with that, we say hello one and all. I'm Matthew Owens and welcome to Miami. Thanks for having us in as Colombia and Portugal are set to do battle here. This is the first time ever that Colombia and Portugal have ever met, and it should be a very interesting encounter between the European side, Portugal, and the South Americans, Colombia. They have both been riding on quite the high, or at least Colombia has for the entire tournament. For Portugal, they did get off to, as we mentioned, a very, very poor start that created a lot of chaos and confusion and panic as far as Portugal went. But then the 5-0 victory over Uzbekistan certainly helped things at least get more positive about this team. And now tonight, a chance still to win the group if they win the game here tonight. We are moments away from kickoff here in Miami. We'll give you the starting lineups here in just a moment. As mentioned, it very well could feel like a true road game for Portugal tonight. Again, over 180,000 Colombians live in Miami. That's the largest Colombian population of any United States city. Let's run through the starting lineups for you, starting with Portugal, with Diogo Costa in goal, the 4-time goalkeeper of the year in the top flight Portuguese league. It's a back 4 with Renato Veiga and Ruben Dias in the middle as the center backs. They are flanked out wide by Nuno Mendes and João Cancelo. Middle of the field, Vitinha, the 2-time Champions League winner with PSG, right next to Ruben Neves. Then João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, and Pedro Neto. And then, of course, the striker up front, you know his name quite well. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. For Colombia, 2 wins from 2 games to start their World Cup campaign. Again, going with Camilo Vargas in goal, as they have through the first 2 games of this tournament over David Ospina, who, of course, has the most caps in Colombia history and has been a part of 3 World Cup teams. Back 4, Machado, Lucumí, Sanchez, and Santiago Arias. The 3 in the middle, John Arias, along with Jefferson Lerma of Crystal Palace. And to the right-hand side of the middle is Gustavo Puerta. The 3 up front are very dangerous. Luis Diaz and James Rodriguez flank John Cordoba. who had 17 goals in the Russian Premier League last season with Krasnodar. So we are ready to go. Much anticipated matchup here in Miami between Colombia and Portugal. And top honors in Group K on the line between these two here tonight. Steamy night in Miami, as you would imagine. Temperatures in the high 80s. Something that Colombia will be very accustomed to. As we get set to go on what should be a very intriguing game. Both of these teams are, of course, through into the knockout round of this tournament, but still so very important to win your group. We've talked about it through this entire group stage that started over a week ago now about how important it is to win your group in this expanded tournament. And we will see how these two teams go about their play tonight, knowing that there is a chance to win the group in front of them. Los Cafeteros in yellow and blue as usual, and Portugal in red as usual. The kits come across quite strikingly on the pitch here in Miami tonight, and we get underway with Colombia kicking us off. 2 wins from their first 2 games, maybe not the most beautiful and elegant of victories against Uzbekistan, as a foul committed by Portugal in the early moments on the far side. A takedown by Pedro Neto will yield a throw-in for Colombia's David Machado. Thrown in on the far side. And perhaps there was a little bit of panic from the Colombian side of things after their win over Uzbekistan was not as decisive as some may have thought that it should have been. A 3-1 victory. And then a 1-0 win over DR Congo. Australian referee tonight, Alireza Fagani, who was born in the United States, as a long diagonal ball up the left-hand side is going to reach Luis Diaz, and in for the penalty area to the left. He cuts the ball back, and the header is over the crossbar from John Cordoba, and a good opportunity for Colombia just into the second minute. We talked about that menacing front three that they have here with Luis Diaz, John Cordoba, and James Rodriguez, and that ball just landed perfectly for Diaz over the top of Cancelo. And a useful cross, but Cordoba's header onto the roof of the net. And that puts an end to the first opportunity that Colombia had right at the beginning of the second minute. They've won the ball back already here, but they're offside on a right-footed pass coming up the near touchline that was intended for Santiago Arias. Colombia, of course, in their first World Cup since 2018, where they did make it to the knockout stage. They've advanced to the knockout stage their last 3 times in a World Cup, but again, failed to qualify in 2022. So the first time in a while that we've seen the yellow and blue and red of Colombia on a World Cup stage, but they have played well here to start their World Cup campaign. They're already through to the knockout round, and any kind of a result tonight gets them top spot in Group K. And again, we talk about the importance of winning your group in this World Cup. Is so very important for travel purposes, for who you play in that round of 32. So you are unable to say that these games here, and this one in particular, is without meaning, as Portugal possessed for the first time in their defensive end to our right. Renato Veiga sends it up the left-hand side, and crossing the halfway line is Vitinha, 2 times a Champions League winner with PSG over the last couple of years. Switch ball to the far side. João Cancelo has it. Dropped on back to Vitinha, who scored just once in Ligue 1 last year, but did score 6 times in the Champions League campaign. Finessed over to the left-hand side for Vitinha, who tried to charge forward and got chopped down by John Arias in his first World Cup. That's a foul and a free kick for Portugal. The Bench boss is Nestor Lorenzo for Colombia. This team that now has a FIFA ranking of 11th in the world, and Roberto Martinez, of course, for Portugal, has been well-traveled over his career. Free kick here for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes is over it on the near left channel, 40 yards away from goal, just inside the touchline, raises both arms in the air, and here he goes. Right-footed delivery is short to the left side of the penalty area, and it comes to Nuno Mendes, who had it stripped off his boot, free on the touchline on the near side. Colombia trying to get it away. Santiago Arias gets it skyward, and it's chopped out for a goal kick by the swinging right foot of Ruben Neves, who scored 11 times in the Saudi Pro League last season with Al Hilal. And that was a volley that was well off target by quite some amount. And here is Portugal now, getting back on the ball, taking it away off the Colombian throw, but it's beaten out on the near side. And Colombia will throw it away once again up the near side. Santiago Arias gets it in. It's hooked long upfield from our left to our right into the Portuguese half. Defended away on a header out of play on the near side by Renato Veiga, who plays at Villarreal. It's out for a Colombia throw. James Rodriguez came over to get the ball, and now he's given it for Gustavo Puerta. Rodriguez, of course, is the leading goal scorer in World Cup competition for Colombia with 6 career World Cup goals. He did it all in 2014, that massive 2014 World Cup, as Puerta with a long throw in towards the near post. Headers up into the air, come to the top of the box. It was finessed on by Arias. It came towards the left side of the area, could not be twisted goalward, and Ruben Neves gets it up and out. Into the center circle it will drop, and Portugal are on the ball. Forward feed deflects off a body out of play in front of the Portugal technical area. And we will have a throw in here. Seth Eaves is with us here, helping out on commentary tonight, as he will provide us updates from the other game going on in Group K, which is still very meaningful. And as we have a ball go out of play on the near side, let's go to Seth for the first time tonight.
Little preview for our potential college football season, if you will. What a beautiful goal. Eldor Shomurodov, a lovely chip, one of the better goals of the tournament. Uzbekistan have the lead 1-0 against Congo. So Uzbekistan leads. Also, perhaps not a big surprise, just a surprise of how quick it was. Less than an hour after his team's elimination, Scotland manager Steve Clarke has resigned from his role. More on that at halftime.
Thank you, Seth. We'll keep Seth piped in here for updates throughout the festivities here as Group K play comes to a close. Portugal in off the left, and João Felix tried to flare a diagonal ball to the right side of the penalty area, misguided over the head of Pedro Neto, and it's out for a goal kick for Camilo Vargas, in goal for Colombia for a third straight game. Again, Nestor Lorenzo going with Vargas over David Ospina, a pair of 37-year-old goalkeepers. In fact, all 3 goalkeepers on the squad over 30 years in age. Ospina has the most caps in Colombia history and has played in their last 2 World Cups. They go long up the middle. It comes down to Cordoba, who cuts to his left. He feeds it top left corner of the box, and the ball fizzed in. Left-footed, but well wide of goal. Dragged wide by James Rodriguez, who now plays with Minnesota United here in the United States in Major League Soccer. Signed with that team up north in February. Of course, he's been well-traveled in his 3rd World Cup, likely his last at age 34, although you can't ever say that all that confidently these days, as the goal kick is taken long from our right to our left by Diogo Costa. And Portugal in possession here, and it's Bruno Fernandes from the edge of the D. He'll lift it to the right-hand side. It's a long run for João Cancelo, but he makes it by the far flag. He's cut away by David Machado's defense and had to square it back, and Portugal on a reload here. Pedro Neto cuts it into the left. Now gets it back on a return, and now it's Vitinha out wide on the right-hand side for Ruben Neves, and his nudged ball forward does not connect. And it's out for a goal kick. So just underway here in Miami. And what an atmosphere it is. Again, over 180,000 Colombians call Miami home. That is the most of any United States city. And you do get the sense that Portugal is playing an away game here tonight. They're back in possession of the ball, though, Portugal. Ruben Dias plays it to the far side. It was contested by Luis Diaz. Instead, it comes to Vitinha. In the midfield, he will patrol. Now a long diagonal ball from right to left as he spotted a run here from Nuno Mendes. She's found it. Left side of the penalty area. Hits the brakes. Twisting, turning, and trying to ballerina his way to the inside. And it goes out for a goal kick, as it's well defended by Santiago Arias, and Mendes thought he had won a corner, but it is a goal kick. We work here very early, first half, in Miami. And again, as you heard the update from Seth Eaves a moment ago, in the other game that we've got going on in this group, and you see it flash up on your screen, bottom of your screen, it's Uzbekistan ahead of DR Congo now 1-0, as Colombia will try to build out of the back here in those bright, vibrant yellow shirts, blue numbers, blue shorts, white socks, attacking from our left to our right as we look at it here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami in this first half, against the red of Portugal with white numbers, green trim, red shorts, and red socks. Colombia in possession. Ball is pushed to the near right side. Arias on the channel. Drops it off, and then it's looped back towards Arias. It's too far for him. It's put a mile high into the sky by Renato Veiga. It popcorns around middle of the field. Jefferson Lerma was able to direct it forward. It comes down on the far side. Luis Diaz was going after it, and it's taken by the Portugal defense, who had that start to this tournament that had everyone up in arms after they were unable to find victory against DR Congo. And a lot of panic after that result. But against Uzbekistan, they did what everyone expected them to do, winning 5-0. Quite honestly, what everyone expected Colombia to do to Uzbekistan in their opening match, but that ended 3-1, and there was maybe not panic button pressing, but there were some calls that Colombia were not as impressive in that game. And honestly, after their 1-0 victory over Congo, there's still some people saying that perhaps Colombia has room to grow. Every team does. Bruno Fernandes here into the attacking half for Portugal. Loops the ball from left to right. Ronaldo went down on the near side after getting what looked like his first touch. Now it's back to Fernandes outside the penalty area. Right-footed shot is well wide to the right of Camilo Vargas. Does not challenge the 37-year-old goalkeeper from Bogota, Colombia, that plays in Mexico domestically. So Uzbekistan up early. And as you see on the bottom of your screen earlier today, a late win for Croatia to beat Ghana, and England over Panama 2-0, as Colombia try to get forward. Upfield with Arias, flicking a header into the middle. Colombia in possession as we played just over 12 minutes. Played on back to Vargas. Holds in his penalty area. No real pressure from Portugal, but it is Ronaldo that's starting to creep in. Now Vargas will get it away. Strikes it with the laces of his left boot deep into the middle of the field. Comes down to the right of the center circle where it's handled by Jefferson Lerma of Crystal Palace. Before that of Bournemouth. And Colombia on this left-hand side. James Rodriguez turns it back into the middle. Gustavo Puerta back to James Rodriguez. Locates an open yellow shirt on that far left touchline. Then the return comes for James. Looks to his right, directs it that direction. Some Defensive pressure from Bruno Fernandes. Then for James Rodriguez. Up the left-hand side. Luis Diaz has it. Then for James, the Colombian fans get to their feet almost as one here as they creep even further forward. John Arias now. Lateral ball from left to right on the near touchline to Santiago Arias. Then they drop it on back to Lerma again. Pressure comes from Felix. And charging forward here is Davinson Sanchez. Slices a ball to the left of the D at the edge of the penalty area. David Machado gives it up. James Rodriguez for the left of the penalty area. Hands it off. Return comes to the top left corner of the box. Luis Diaz. He'll switch it from left to right. Can Santiago Arias run it down before it goes out of play? He does. Minge is on him defensively. The cross was blocked by Minge. It stayed in play. It bounced a couple of times. It's picked up by Lerma. Swirled on back for Santiago Arias. Square ball comes to Gustavo Puerta on his left foot. From the edge of the D, launches a shot that is well off target, and it turns into a goal kick. A long spell of possession there from Colombia, but unable to do anything with it, but it did get the crowd up to their feet as Puerta was off target to the left. Meanwhile, Seth Eaves has yet another update as we've got a lot happening with Uzbekistan and DR Congo. What you got, Seth? What's the latest happenings from Atlanta?
Perfect timing. Congo had a goal, a great finish by Nathaniel Mbuku, but it's just been overturned on a VAR check, a foul in the buildup, I believe. So Uzbekistan is only alive mathematically. They have to win by like five goals or more to advance tonight. Congo are through with a win, but right now they are behind against Uzbekistan 1-0 after the VAR check wiped out what would have been an equalizing goal.
Portugal back in possession here. Thank you, Seth. Nuno Mendes squares a ball 30 yards away from goal to be handled by Vitinha on the reception. Touched on forward for Fernandes. Back out wide to the right, Neves. Plays it to the far touchline. Pedro Neto has it there. Neto closed in on by Luis Diaz. Puts it back into the middle of the field, some 30 yards away from goal. Vitinha, two-time reigning Champions League winner with PSG. Back to Neves. Now a reversal to the top of the circle to be handled by Ruben Dias. Played along this side, inside left channel. It's handled by João Felix. Felix on for Bruno Fernandes. What a playmaker he is at Manchester United now for 6 years. Has it inside left channel. Rolled on back to the readied right boot of Veiga. Veiga puts it more into the middle for Vitinha. Flared out wide to the right, Dias. Directed far right touchline. Out wide on that right-hand side. And a left-footed cross is sent in, and it comes to the back post, and the defensive header is away by Santiago Arias of Colombia. Comes out up the near side for John Arias to sprint to a bit of safety, but then red shirts surround him, so Colombia's got to do a little bit more to clear their lines. They finally have, but Portugal are back in possession. It's sliced up the middle by Vitinha. It drops to the edge of the D, but not to a red shirt. Instead, it's the number 11 in yellow and blue, John Arias, who splits a couple of defenders, and he's gotten a good pass off on the inside right channel to be handled by John Cordoba moving forward. He stiffs arm Fernandes. Cordoba's in, right-footed shot parried away by Diogo Costa. It lands to the top of the box. Can Portugal clear? No, they can, and a shot turned towards goal by Luis Diaz. Took a deflection, missed wide of Costa to his right. And Colombia with plenty of opportunities there and positive play just shy of the 20-minute mark. Wow. Diogo Costa put to work for the first time there as he got his right palm to it, and it just would not drop on the rebound for John Arias out in front. But Colombia looking very solid here to start. It's a corner here for the South Americans. Los Cafeteros in their 7th World Cup appearance, taken short from the far flag for the left of the penalty area. It's Arias, top left corner of the box. Oh, he's fizzed a shot on goal and beaten out by Costa. It lands 50 yards from goal, where a long left-footed shot was taken by Machado. That was into traffic and blocked. There's a whistle, and play is stopped. Possession will belong to Portugal through that. But Colombia are in the mood here early. They've already taken 6 shots, and that was their second own goal there. Portugal back in possession in the middle of the field. Bruno Fernandes lifts it to the right-hand side. They haven't had a lot of touches for the 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo so far, who there was question whether he would be in the starting lineup for Roberto Martinez. But after Martinez's comments that some saw as very dull after their first game against Congo, perhaps there shouldn't have been any doubt that they would have Ronaldo on the field tonight. But he hasn't had many touches, as I said. Colombia's done a good job to this point at keeping the ball away from him. Portugal into the attacking half and towards the final third. Inside left channel, it's a left-footed pass that comes this way for Nuno Mendes. He is well covered up defensively by Santiago Arias. It's out of play on the near side in front of the Colombia technical area, and it's out of play for what will be a Portugal throw. And now they're saying it's going to be a Colombia throw. First time that these two nations have ever met. Portugal and Colombia. And they meet here tonight in Miami. That could very well be quite the atmosphere and quite the game here tonight. Again, this is for top spot in Group K. Colombia on the throw-in. It's collected through traffic by Arias, who comes up this near right channel. Tries to cut to his inside. He got tripped up by Nuno Mendes. There was no foul called by the Australian/American referee. Arias picks himself up with arms outstretched. He's very surprised that there was not a foul. And Portugal are on the ball with Neves pushing forward up the far right channel. As you heard Seth Eaves tell us earlier, a Congo goal wiped out. So it still remains 1-0 Uzbekistan. You've got that score bottom of your screen. And we will keep that updated along with Seth's coming through Seth's updates tonight. Here's João Felix left of the penalty area. His cross was blocked by Davinson Sanchez, who tried to sky it out of play. Bruno Fernandes nearly kept it in Portuguese control, but it's Gustavo Puerta button hooking on the near side, connecting a pass forward, but Colombia still cannot clear as it's won back by Nuno Mendes near left touchline. He'll reverse course and roll it back to Ruben Neves. Neves at the top of the center circle, slots it to his left for Vitinha. Vitinha rolled it back a bit dangerously for Vitinha. Colombian shirts around him, including James Rodriguez, who nearly won the ball back, but it was knocked on back for Veiga. Veiga directs it across the circle from left to right in the Portuguese half. Ruben Dias filters it forward. Ronaldo came out on that right side, got a very quick touch. I believe it's only his second so far, as this ball is rolled in towards the middle of the penalty area towards a charging João Felix, but it's easily handled off his line by Camilo Vargas. Vargas, who did not play at any point in the 2014 or 2018 World Cups. He was on the roster for both of those teams, but again, it was David Ospina that was in goal for both of those Colombian teams in 14, where they made their best ever World Cup result, going to the quarterfinals, losing to the host nation Brazil. Here's Colombia moving forward up this near left side, and again, all the yellow shirts in the crowd rise up as a square ball is played for Lerma, rolled out to the inside right channel. James Rodriguez gets it to John Arias, and Arias with a shot that was heading towards goal, and it's cleared off the line by a well-positioned Ruben Neves. Goes out of play on the near side. It'll be a Colombian throw. That was an opportunity. Colombia has been the better of the two teams through about the first quarter of this game, as they possess off the throw in Colombia. Near right channel with Rodriguez. James plays it forward. It's Neves to take it away on an intercept. Gets it to Vitinha, who runs a full circle around James. The 34-year-old lays it out to his right, and now a long ball is sent up the right-hand side and off of his line and towards the edge of the penalty area. Vargas just has to machete it out of play out of desperation on the far side. Portugal get a throw that they take very quickly, trying to catch the Colombians off guard. They haven't done it. Colombia are there defensively. Here's Ronaldo straight away, and from behind he gets taken down by John Arias, and Ronaldo draws the foul, and a free kick coming here for Portugal. As Ronaldo taken down from behind. Of course, Ronaldo scored in their last game against Uzbekistan. Again, they scored 5. When Portugal scores 5, you would expect that Ronaldo's probably scored at least one of them, becoming the first man to ever score in 6 different World Cups. He's got a big stage to play on here. Of course, a lot of Colombians here, but this is also the new home of Messi, who he has forever been entangled with in all of the talks of this sport. They're going to let Portugal take this free kick rather than go to the hydration break here into the 24th minute, and you've got 3 red shirts over this ball to possibly deliver it in. Ronaldo and Fernandes are the normal suspects. Pedro Neto is also over it, and Ronaldo will strike it right up the middle towards goal, and it one hops into the arms of Camilo Vargas, and no real challenge for Vargas, the Colombian goalkeeper, who will send it long now from our left to our right. And he's spotted out John Cordoba here very nicely on the inside right channel. Now back out wide. He drops it off for John Arias. Arias to the top of the circle, rolled it for Jefferson Lerma. Lerma then on for James Rodriguez. Diagonal ball to the left-hand side. Luis Diaz is there on it. Diaz squared it on back for James one more time. James lifts it this way from left to right. Arias at the top right corner of the penalty area. Tried to turn it back. Felix was there defensively to get a piece of it. It rolls out on the near side, and that will be the hydration break here. So we reach our first half hydration break. And it is still 0-0. But it has been extremely entertaining to this point between Colombia and Portugal. Meanwhile, Seth, what else has happened so far in Atlanta? Anything to update us on?
A couple of decent chances for Congo, but nothing too major. Still 1-0 to Uzbekistan in this one, and Uzbekistan's actually, that's a good move right there, but not much happening there. So Uzbekistan 1-0. By the way, it is worth noting here, the winner of this group, I don't know if you've mentioned this or not, but I believe my math is correct. The winner of this group will play Ghana. The loser will play Croatia. So there's some incentive to win the group.
Absolutely.
Nothing against Ghana. Nothing against Ghana per se, but I think I know which one I would rather face. But also, Matthew, I hate to say this on there, but check your text messages.
Yeah, we have talked so much.
Great. I can't believe it. The group stages are almost over.
And we have talked so much about how important it is to win your group, and you've just illustrated it right there. So Colombia, with a result tonight, do win this group, while Portugal must win the game to win the group.
Excuse me.
So coming
at
the... Go ahead.
Also, depending on our halftime update, get you caught on all the scores, including one team that leaves this World Cup finals with a very dubious mark on their resume. That's all coming up at the intermission report.
Colombia will have a throw here out of the hydration break, and it's Santiago Arias who will take it. Arias on the throw-in, gets it played back to him from James Rodriguez, who now has it right at the penalty area. His left-footed cross is outside of the penalty area to the edge of the D, and Portugal are on it. Ronaldo, though, has misplaced his pass, and it's taken back by Davinson Sanchez into the circle for Gustavo Puerta. Puerta will roll it from right to left on the far channel. Luis Diaz on it here. Diaz on for Lerma. One-touch feed back for Puerta. Left touch line Machado. So we close in on the half-hour mark as Colombia reverse play all the way back into their own half, and it'll go to Camilo Vargas outside of his penalty area, with Ronaldo always just probing back there with a chance to pick up an easy one if any mistake is made. Lerma handles the ball right-footed at the edge of his penalty area. Now Colombia begin to move forward once again. Here's James with a long switch ball from right to left. Is it well weighted? Yes, it is. It one hops right to David Machado, who then hands it off for Luis Diaz. Diaz up top for Arias. The return for Diaz. Left of the penalty area. Then once again, John Arias spots Jefferson Lerma 30 yards from goal straight away. Directs it to his left. Davinson Sanchez creeps forward with the ball. Played out wide on the right-hand side. Santiago Arias. In front of him, João Felix. Tries to harpoon a ball inside. Vitinha knocks it away. Comes all the way back to the halfway line. And then kicked by John Lucumi. All the way back to Camilo Vargas. And a restart for Colombia in the 30th minute. Intriguing start here between these two teams going for top spot in their group. And again, it's a Colombia team that could play for a draw. That would win the group for them, but they have been the more aggressive of the two teams so far. And here's the ball twisted in towards the inside right channel, taken back to the circle by Arias. Dropped on for Sanchez. Halfway line on the right-hand side. Davinson Sanchez strolls forward, takes a look upfield, and will lift it that direction. Hamas making a run for it. He is dueling with Renato Veiga for the ball, and Hamas thought for sure that he had won a corner, and the referee on the near side has said, no, you haven't. That is clearly last off Veiga. That should be a corner for Colombia. And now they have reversed the call. Well done. That's obviously off of Veiga. So that's a good reversal. And Colombia have an opportunity on a set piece here with James Rodriguez. Over the ball, the all-time leading World Cup goal scorer in Colombian history. And now what have they done? Now we're walking back the other way. Okay. Apparently they have been checking back in the VAR room, and they're saying that it was not off Veiga. Okay. Portugal are back on the ball here, and Fernandes just played it through in the inside left channel. Ronaldo's into the penalty area, left-footed shot, and an easy save in the end for Camilo Vargas. It wouldn't have counted anyway. The offside flag is up on the far side. Has there been anyone in the history of the beautiful game that's been called for offside more than Cristiano Ronaldo? It's offside there by a touch. And Colombia back in possession. Played to a stalemate through just over half an hour here in Miami, Florida, at Hard Rock Stadium. Portugal with a takeaway in the middle of the field. Bruno Fernandes, a give and go with Ronaldo. Fernandes inside left channel. He will lift it from left to right to the top right corner of the penalty area here. Portugal on the attack, and a ball slid into the right of the area, and a deflection defensively by Puerta, who rolled it back for Vargas, who didn't clear it all that well, and now it popcorns around, but you've got a foul going against Ruben Dias as he climbed over the top of James Rodriguez and put him down, and Dias goes over and talks to Alireza Fagani, the referee. It's a clear foul, though, on Dias. Alireza Fagani, our Australian referee tonight, was born in Iran, has spent a lot of time in the United States, but Australian nationality. And Colombia possess here with Gustavo Puerta, spinning up the left-hand side, playing it forward, then it's dropped back for Jefferson Lerma. 34th minute we play here. Colombia 0 and Portugal 0. Up the far side, Luis Diaz. There go the Colombian fans on the far side, up to their feet again. They're very entertaining to watch. Played on back to Gustavo Puerta. Puerta plays it into the middle. First touch pass by Diaz, comes back to John Arias. He's 30 yards from goal. He's 25 yards from goal. Slides it to his right. Right of the D. Diaz lays it off. Santiago Arias with the ball cut back at the top of the 6-yard box. It was behind his target. Portugal able to clear. That ball may have pierced a cloud on the way back down through the air. Could not be handled by Felix, and it's out on the near side for what will be a Colombia throw. Colombia have been the more attacking team. 7 attempts at goal, but only 1 on goal. Arias will toss in front of the Portugal technical area. He does, off the chest of Hamas. Tried to chip it back towards Arias, but it goes out of play. It'll be a Portugal throw as they win possession back. Does Portugal. Again, this is the first match of this World Cup for Colombia on the United States side after playing in Mexico City and Zapopan, as Colombia win possession back very quickly. It's all the way back to Vargas. Meanwhile, Portugal played each of their first 2 games in Houston. That 1-1 draw against Congo, and then the 5-0 thumping of Uzbekistan. That score remains on the bottom of your screen, 1-0 to Uzbekistan in the fight for 3rd in this group. And you heard Seth rightfully say earlier, Uzbekistan is alive to advance into the knockout round mathematically, but they've got to win, and win by a bunch of goals if they were to find a way to advance. Both of those teams, of course, have never made it to the knockout round of the World Cup, as you might imagine. Here's a ball scooped up the near right side. Colombia on the offensive. Header out by Vitinha. It'll be a Colombia throw on this near right side. 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first half. On the throw, it's back into the Colombian half to our left. Davinson Sanchez rolled it back. Camilo Vargas again. And then the return comes for Sanchez, who now plays Galatasaray after all that time at Tottenham in the Premier League. Long ball up the right-hand side leads to a Portugal foul. A takedown by Veiga, colliding and clashing into Cordoba. Be a free kick for Colombia in the attacking half. You wouldn't quite say in the final third, or at least right on the edge of the final third here. Hamas is over it. This is certainly not an attempt to go straight to goal, but we'll see if they'll serve a ball in or how they'll play this with James Rodriguez over it, and he's just played it short and out to his right. They can get set up now. Santiago Arias back to James Rodriguez, rolls it into the right of the penalty area, and John Arias turns a right-footed shot on goal, easily snagged, double-handed save. Diogo Costa, easily done by the 26-year-old goalkeeper, born in Switzerland, in his 2nd World Cup for Portugal. Portugal back on the ball, building from our right to our left. And tossed on back again to Costa, who wears that bright teal shirt and kit with bright orange gloves. Ball high into the sky. Header forward by Lerma. Comes to the left side of the penalty area for Luis Diaz. Diaz serves a cross in, and it went a long way, but it goes beyond 2 yellow shirts. Pops back out on the near side for Nuno Mendes. He's got plenty of space to sprint forward with it. Mendes a drop for Vitinha. Vitinha flares it into the circle. Bruno Fernandes gets it forward. Cristiano Ronaldo inside right channel, charging forward. Lifts it out to his right from the right of the penalty area. Left-footed cross sent in. Ronaldo was the initial target. It went beyond him. It dropped to the edge of the D. Shot attempt by Vitinha was blocked and smothered. Lerma couldn't get it further away. Top right corner of the box. Left-footed shot is sent in and off target to the right of Vargas, off the left boot of João Cancelo. And Colombia will have a goal kick off of that. As we get into the final minutes here of this first half. Colombia will walk it back forward from our left to our right. Again, tons and tons of yellow in the seats tonight at Hard Rock Stadium. There is a good splattering of red, but it is mostly yellow as you would have expected. Here's a long ball cranked up the right-hand side, and no foul on that collision. Again, surprise to the Colombian supporters that it was not a foul. Vitinha's won the ball, and Portugal are moving forward. Cancelo from the right of the penalty area angles the ball in. It deflects right to the top of the 6. Fernandes with a shot right on, stopped by Vargas. What a save as he came off of his line and got big. Karam's back out on the left-hand side. Top left corner of the box, Felix sends it into the end line. Centered ball by Neto. Cleared away by the Colombians. Tossed back towards the penalty area by Veiga. Comes to Vitinha. Just outside the D. Rolled to his right. Bruno Fernandes probing. Sends it up the middle. Flicked on for Ronaldo. Played to the left of the D. It's Minge. Hands it off to Neto. Then for Vitinha. Out to his right. Directs it. Top of the box. And a long-range shot through the laces of Neves. Hit a body. And Neves is... well... he believes it should be a corner. It hit off of a Colombian body and went wide. At least I thought it went off of a Colombian body. I don't think they're giving them a corner out of that. What a save that was by Vargas on Bruno Fernandes, who had it drop right to him, and Vargas got both of his hands up, only his right hand on the ball as he palmed it away. Ball sent long up the middle. Ruben Dias with the defensive header. Both of these teams now with 7 attempts at goal. Portugal's got 2 on goal. 2 saves from Vargas. 1 save at the other end from Costa. Ball out of play on the near side. Past the 40-minute mark. Again, Uzbekistan would finish 3rd in this group if the results hold as they are, with a goal difference of -6. That's why we were saying earlier, they need to win, and they need to win by a lot. Portugal are on the ball. Fernandes, top left corner of the box, sends it in right-footed. Defensive header away by Davinson Sanchez. It drops on the near side, out of play. It'll be a Portugal throw. João Felix will throw it in. Hot and humid night in Miami. I know, shock horror. And here comes the throw from Minge. Another player from PSG on this Portugal team. And he's thrown it in, and it's come right to the top of the 6-yard box for a right-footed shot that is lifted high from Felix, who got in quite cleverly. And what an opportunity. Off the throw-in, Felix able to chest it down and then take it on a volley. A one-touch shot lifted over the bar. But that is well-manufactured opportunity. That João Felix, who scored 20 times in the Saudi Pro League last season with Al Nassr, of course, on the team that Cristiano Ronaldo plays for, very nearly created that out of what looked to be a fairly harmless sequence off the throw. Colombia are back forward. They haven't had a lot of the ball here over the last 10 minutes or so. Certainly not as much as they had in the first 40. Here's Colombia on the ball in the midfield with Luis Diaz, who has really started to make a name for himself. 15 goals in the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich last year, as he was a big cog in the piece that won the Bundesliga title. And I can't believe it that Bayern Munich won the Bundesliga title last year. Of course, before that he was at Liverpool, where he won a Premier League title. As Colombia are going backwards here with Gustavo Preta. Ladles up the left-hand side. Slowed down by Sanchez. It looks like Colombia would just like to get to halftime here, as the early momentum that they had, and really not only early momentum, they had it through the first 20-25 minutes, has been dragged back by Portugal. Here's Diaz now, sprinting laterally from right to left. A little back heel flick for John Arias. And here's Arias now, laying it out on the left-hand side. Santiago Arias cuts the ball back. Top of the box, James Rodriguez, switching from left foot to right. Unleashes a shot that was blocked. It dropped outside of the box for Lerma to drive through traffic. That was blocked as well. Ball loose on the far side, and we've got a foul going against Portugal's Pedro Neto. It'll be a Colombia free kick from the far channel, which they've taken very quickly, and too quickly for the liking of the Australian referee. Free kick now taken inside left channel. Rolled in short towards the middle and played towards the top of the box, but off the unexpected right foot of Luis Diaz. Rolls back easily for a pickup by Costa. We're at 347 Don Shula Drive, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida, where Colombia and Portugal have played to a 0-0 stalemate now through 44 minutes on an 87-degree night. High humidity in Miami. Perfect for the Colombians and their fans. Portugal trying to build forward here with Ronaldo on the far side. He got trucked from behind by John Lucumi, who's called for the foul. As we're into the final minute of the 45. See how much stoppage time. We haven't had many stoppages, thankfully, so far, so they might just add the 3 for the hydration break, maybe a 4th if they choose to. Stadium that has hosted a lot of enormous events in its past and had even more name changes. Inside left channel, Felix lost the ball. Colombia is able to clear forward. It was spun ahead by John Arias. Could not get it to James, who was breaking up the middle. Comes back on this near side where Cancelo, surrounded by 2 Colombians, has it taken away. Stripped by John Arias, right of the D. Arias to the top of the box, trying to get on his right foot. It's knocked off his boot. He recovers. Back to James, who strikes it on goal, and it's easily stopped by Diogo Costa. And we played the 45 minutes here. We'll see how much gets added on as Bruno Fernandes pushes that ball forward. Now Portugal might be on the attack here. Out wide on the right-hand side, charging ahead. Felix had it knocked away by Lucumi. 3 minutes added on. And here's Colombia ahead up the left-hand side. Luis Diaz out wide to his left, creeping back towards the middle on his right foot, stops, holds, now takes a shot from just outside the penalty area that he always was dragging wide to the right of Camilo Vargas. Wide to the right of Diogo Costa, I beg your pardon. Here is Costa to send it long. From our right to our left, high into the air, where it's chested down by John Lucumi. Lucumi sends it out wide on the left-hand side. 11 attempts at goal in this first half from Colombia. So if you thought that Colombia was just going to sit back, play for the draw to win the group, they have not done that. Nestor Lorenzo wanting them to attack. Here's James, elevates one, out wide to the left. Luis Diaz left of the penalty area against João Cancelo. He goes in after him. He nudges it back, top left corner of the box. Shot through traffic by Machado was blocked. Portugal try to get forward with it, maybe have a chance on a counter. Halfway through the 3 added minutes, and there are spaces that are starting to grow here for Portugal on the left-hand side. Nuno Mendes cuts it back, edge of the D. João Felix, who had a great chance earlier, back for Mendes, cuts it back. Ronaldo, left-footed shot is blocked as Machado got in front of him. James keeps it from rolling out of play on the near side. He's got possession. Then he turns to his left. He got fouled by Mendes. They play a good carry on here. Good advantage played by the Australian referee. John Cordoba cuts it back in the attacking half. Davinson Sanchez approaching the final third. Lays it out wide on the left-hand side. Machado knocks it forward. Luis Diaz, top left corner of the box. James is yet to rejoin the play. He is up on his feet. Now he does get into the final third with the rest of his teammates. Now he's got the pass from John Arias on his left foot. James goes for goal at one hopped right into the path of Costa, who punched it out. Portugal have it the other direction. Pedro Neto now. This is a basketball game all of a sudden. End to end. And Neto is galloping from the right of the penalty area. He stops. He waits for red shirts to arrive. He cuts it back top of the box. Ronaldo couldn't get there. Sanchez stripped it away from behind. Now here comes Colombia pushing. Oh my goodness. In the yellow shirts with blue numbers and blue shorts from our left to our right. John Arias ahead. Luis Diaz in the dying moments of the first half. Diaz out wide on the left-hand side. Cuts it back. Centered ball comes back for John Arias. Now for the left of the penalty area, Thomas. He's got to do something with it, or the Australian referee will blow for halftime. He hasn't done it yet. Now he has. Oh, boy. Colombia in the attacking third there with the ball in their possession. And the Australian referee blows for halftime. And we reach halftime. Colombia 0 and Portugal 0. But good attacking play from both squads to this point. We anticipated an entertaining match. Even between two teams that's already advanced to the knockout stage. You might send a memo to Norway that when you have a chance to win the group, maybe play your full team and play the way that everyone expected you to play. Just a thought. Just a word to the Norwegians out there listening, which are probably now a grand total of 0. So halftime, Colombia 0 and Portugal 0 here in Miami. Good first half, Seth?
Oh yeah, great first half. They've just it was timed well because they've also just gone to the half in the ATL. Uzbekistan 1 and Congo Doctor 0. Yes. Ever since you said that, I don't know what was during a race or something. We were talking about there was a rain delay, and you were talking about Congo Doctor. Thanks to you, you idiot. That's been stuck in my head this whole damn month. Congo Doctor, Congo Doctor, Congo. Like, God almighty.
No one makes you say it. I don't put a gun to your head to say it.
I know you don't, but it's just, but I don't think about it until, well, but but we press on like a Lee nail, or tries to. But anyway, World Cup action. Before we go to today, I want to go circle back to some other final group stage matches. The United States losing to Turkey 3-2. Any cause for concern there?
No.
Aside from the fact that it was an athletic sporting event that you lost.
No. In the words of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, it did not matter. Mattered to Turkey, eh? Didn't matter to the United States, no. The pearl clutching and the panicking over the last near 48 hours here stateside has been quite something. But again, a lot of Americans went into the match watching an American broadcast that were, I don't know, throwing darts at the board, trying to come up with storylines. It's like they didn't know how to act covering a game where the United States has already advanced to the knockout round and not needing anything from their last group game. And all of a sudden there's all this panic, and no. Mattered to Turkey, it did not matter to the United States. Good for Turkey to at least go out with a victory, but, I mean, Turkey played that game on Thursday night the way they played their first 2 group games. The only difference was they found the back of the net. Turkey could have easily won all 3 games in that group because they were better against Paraguay. They had the most opportunities against Australia. They just didn't capitalize on either of them. So it's a disappointing World Cup for Turkey, despite playing better than their 3 opponents. And for the United States, it matters little. On to Bosnia.
Let's talk about what happened last night. I'm not even going to get into France, Nor, because you made your thoughts pretty clear on how Norway approached that game.
Why would you not go for the group victory? Why? We know what we know what winning the group means in this World Cup.
You know what some people in a certain part of Scandinavia will say, right? The Swedes will say they were too scared to play us.
I just
could have had Norway and Sweden, for crying out loud.
I don't fully understand that. Now, I do get resetting yellow cards and not wanting to get players injured. With that said, injuries can happen anywhere at any time. Just ask Ismail Kone at Canada what kind of an injury can happen at 4-0 in the second half of a game. We have talked this entire World Cup about this expanded World Cup. If you can win your group, it helps you massively with travel and round of 32 matchup. Why they would not even try to win the group, and truly they didn't by making 10 changes, that is very surprising to me. And all of that started after their win over Senegal, because Erling Haaland was asked, what's it going to be like playing France, playing Kylian Mbappe, and he's like, well, they'll probably win. Well, when you don't play anybody that you have been playing against, a team that's made it to the last 2 World Cup finals, and yeah, oh well. see if that bites them, because I think it will.
Norway will play the Ivory Coast in the round of 16. France is mentioned against Sweden. A Graham Potter defense against France, so that might be illegal in some countries. Group H, and I want to do a double thing on this because I believe you have your surprise feel-good story, and I think your big disappointment here. Let's start with Cape Verde. Listen, people will say, and it's true, that they did do well in qualifying, and they have produced good players recently from that small nation Africa, but it's still a small nation. And still, who thought they would have finished second in this group? You can't help but be happy for Cape Verde, and now they get a prime tie with Argentina in the round of 32.
I mean, this is an island nation the size of Rhode Island, population of just north of 500,000, and they have come to this World Cup and stunned Spain with a 0-0 draw. Against Uruguay, coming from behind to get a result from that game, and then did exactly what they had to do. Job done against Saudi Arabia. A game where they were attacking in the last 15 or 20 minutes, and you were thinking, why? But, yes, everyone is so happy for them, for the goalkeeper that now has more followers than just about anyone in this World Cup, save for maybe Mbappe, Messi, and Ronaldo. I listen.
It's like more than all the ones in the big four sports here.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I just, everyone is so happy for them, for him, for the story, and it just continues to drive home the plot of just sports are the freaking best, and there is no dream that is too big to dream. Congratulations to Cape Verde. And everyone will pick them to lose by a touchdown to Argentina, but they did that against Spain as well.
Quite a remarkable situation. Quite a remarkable night for Cape Verde. On the other side, Uruguay and Spain, and think we're talking about how disappointing this was from Uruguay. How embarrassing is it that the last two World Cups, they have been grouped in a group that you would expect them to win? And, I was looking at some people. Their stars are aging. They don't have anybody coming through their youth system that wows you at the moment. Is this the end of Uruguay being a World Cup contender, at least for the foreseeable future?
I've
teed you up with a hubris pitch on that one. Come on.
Listen.
I'm begging for you to say, I hope not.
Listen. Uruguay, for a second straight World Cup, as you said, out in the group stage in a group where they should have easily advanced. They've made an absolute embarrassment of themselves in the last group game of each of those. They act like a bunch of spoiled children. And I don't, as much as everyone feels great for Cape Verde, I think everyone does not feel one bit for Uruguay. As long as you're outside of Uruguay, I don't think you feel bad for Uruguay. I'm sorry, they make asses of themselves every single time they get into a game like this that they need to win, but then they're not winning. Then you can't act tough when your play is not tough enough to win, and then you're going to act like a bunch of tough wannabe world killers. Like, they're just see you later. And to your original question, it probably is the end of them being a contenders at least for a while. But also, I will add to that, Uruguay have, for the last handful of decades have not been the power that they think they are. Yeah, they've won 2 World Cups. You won the first one, and then you won the last one 3/4 of a century ago. Not the power that they act like they are. And they're not as tough as they act like they are either.
You want to add anything on the Egypt-Iran game in Seattle last night?
VAR was
Yeah. Everybody's favorite.
was the winner of that one. It sure was.
Yes, I would agree with that. 110%. All right, to today's action. Earlier today in Group L, England beat Panama 2-0. Croatia 2-1 winners over Ghana. England win the group. Croatia second. Croatia second. Ghana third. Ghana through as one of the best third-place teams that officially eliminated Scotland. More on that in a split second with the news about the manager. But is it me, or I just feel like England have been just a tick off of what they should be in their 3 matches so far? It's like good, but not good.
Well, I thought they were great attacking team in that first game, and I thought, okay, this is what England is now. No, it's not. What happened? What has happened since then has been quite incredible. They've only scored 2 goals. They came today in a 5-minute span against Panama. I'm not sure what happened, because I think a lot of people watched that first game against Croatia in Dallas and thought, this is what England has needed to be for a long time. This is what makes England real contenders to win this. And since then, they've kind of gotten back to their old ways of just wanting to be so compact at the back that they just can't get what they need to in the danger areas. And I'm very intrigued to see if they change things up now that we're into one and dones.
It's situations like that that make you wonder why. I know they didn't have good years in the league, but you couldn't find a place even on the bench for Phil Foden or Cole Palmer.
Well,
That's
yes.
that was rather eyebrow raising, but indeed it is. But England, the winners of Group L, they will play either Senegal or the third place team from Group K, and it's looking more and more like that's going to be England Senegal, which was a round of 16 matchup 4 years ago in Qatar. Steve Clarke resigning as Scotland manager. Not a big surprise, I feel like. If you follow the Scottish media there, it's not a huge surprise, but that just, not, I guess, I don't think it is, because everybody was calling for his head. I'm like, well, these soccer fans are something else. He takes this country to a World Cup for the first time in like 30 years, and like, all right, he needs to go.
Yeah. And they had.
I mean, I get it. They weren't great, but I mean, come on.
No, they were not great. No, and they still had a chance to advance as a third place team, and then literally every possible result that could go against them to advance did. So yeah, that.
Any Scottish fans will listen to that and say, "Why are you making a big deal out of that? That's just Scotland."
Well, yeah.
But you know what? I know you laugh and you make a huge deal when I make silly comparisons like this, but I'm about to here. I think we can call Scotland the Del McCoward of the World Cup. They didn't win many games, but they didn't lose any parties.
Well, they did not lose any of the parties. That's for sure.
Thoughts on the second half of your game between Portugal and Colombia?
It's been really fun first half. We'll see how the rest of it goes. You do kind of get a little bit concerned. Colombia, do they back off and just play for the draw here to win the group? Hopefully that doesn't happen, but they have the right to do it because they've won 2 from 2, but it was an entertaining first half.
All right, Big Mo. Take it back to you in Miami for the Saying, I hope you're staying cool out there. I know the heat and humidity, and you and the heat and humidity aren't exactly on bestie
No,
terms.
there's no air conditioning here, which is sad. But it is right up the Colombians' alley, you would think. Of course, Argentina will play Cape Verde here next week. And for nations and fans that are used to weather like this, it's not the biggest disaster. But we are ready for the second half to get underway here in Miami at Joe Player Finn Shark Life Rock Stadium.
You're an idiot.
Is terrific.
Yeah, you can actually say that and get away with it because, well, those are not the names of the. You just mixed all of them together.
Yeah, well, indeed, and listen, you got a lot that you could mix in when it comes to this stadium.
You better believe that.
You can put a lot into the blender and press puree. So,
oh, you bougie, you fancy. Yeah.
See how the second half goes. Portugal.
You heading to Pit Bulls Club and partying with the people after this game. I see where you going, player.
Portugal. No, that's pro player. Portugal have restarted play as they kick off the second half.
Pro player. Doesn't take long with us.
No. Well, especially when it comes to this stadium. You kidding me? All right, off we go. Second half, Portugal in possession, now attacking from our left to our right in these red shirts with white numbers and green trim. Ronaldo was in the middle. He placed it off to the right-hand side where it was flared to Pedro Neto. Neto dropped it on back for Diego Dallo, who came in as a halftime substitute for Portugal. To Neto, skipping towards the end line, and he just had it roll off his boot, and out it goes for a goal kick. As we get this second half underway here in South Florida. And again, just interested to see how this second half goes from the Colombian side, especially because they were very aggressive in that first half as the team that does not need to win this match to win the group. They can win the group with a draw. They are in possession here. Ball was deflected back to the halfway line. Coming to claim it was Gustavo Puerta. Puerta was able to roll it out to his right for Lerma. Lerma out wide on the right-hand side for Santiago Arias. Then for Luis Diaz. Dropped back for Lerma. Switch ball. Comes to the near side. Here's Luis Diaz, left of the penalty area. Stabs it back towards the top of the box. Gustavo Puerta rolls it up the middle for Jefferson Lerma. Lerma out to the right-hand side. Arias around the horn. James Rodriguez has it inside right channel. Tries to slide one towards the penalty area. Portugal are there as it was defended away by Vitinha, and then a foul committed by John Arias. Meanwhile, the substitutes at halftime for Roberto Martinez. Diego Dallo on to replace João Cancelo, and João Neves coming on for Ruben Neves. So Portugal making their first two substitutions of this match. We'll see how long it takes Nestor Lorenzo to make changes to his 11. As Ronaldo fist-fighting for the ball here in the middle of the field. He and John Arias became entangled. Foul goes against Ronaldo. Colombia take the free kick quickly and try to move forward with possession here with Lerma coming right up the middle. He was stopped by the defense of Vitinha. Lays it out to his right. Lerma gets it back on a return. Plays catch with Gustavo Puerta 60 yards from goal. Now it's lifted to the left-hand side. David Machado to the near touch line. Luis Diaz. Inside pass to his right. James Rodriguez. 6 goals and a golden boot in the World Cup 12 years ago, can you believe? Luis Diaz from the left of the penalty area. Looks to wrap it back up top. He does. There's James. One-touch feedback for Puerta. James once again. They just keep creeping further and further inward here against this Portugal defense. Inch by inch. Here's Lerma again. Now a reversal out to his right. Davinson Sanchez on a recycle for Puerta. Up the middle, he tries to fling it with his right foot. Took a deflection off a Portuguese body. Coming away with it, Bruno Fernandes. Nearly stabbed back by Lerma. Portugal trying to get forward with it. Bodies hit the floor right in the center circle. 2 red shirts and a yellow shirt all go down. It's a foul going against Colombia. So it'll be a free kick here for Portugal right here around the halfway line. It'll be right in the center circle, just inside the attacking half, which is taken quickly to João Neves, who came on at halftime for Roberto Martinez. Now they backpedal. Diego Dallo out to his right, trying to sprint away from Luis Diaz. He has done, then drops it back. Neves will play it diagonally from right to left. Veiga up the far side. They found Ronaldo from the left of the penalty area. Cristiano Ronaldo hits the brakes. 2 yellow shirts around him to quickly win the ball back for the South Americans. Charging forward, John Arias. And up that far touchline, he gets shouldered down. Apparently, shouldered down without a foul. And here's Portugal on the ball. Bruno Fernandes inside left channel. He takes on the defensive Lerma. Plays it out wide on the left-hand side. Ronaldo squared on back to Vitinha. Vitinha in the middle of the field, 40 yards from goal. He'll hoist it up the right-hand side. Dias to the near touchline. Neto. The return for Dallo. Dallo up the middle. João Neves out wide to the left-hand side. Nuno Mendes. And then João Neves once again. 50 minutes played here. Portugal probing on the right foot. It's Neves sending it out on the right-hand side. Pedro Neto, right of the penalty area. He'll curl it back for a ball swung in by Dallo to the far post. And it ends up being guided off the head of João Felix. Off target. It's better from Portugal. Felix struggling to move the defensive body of Davinson Sanchez. Goal kick to be taken by Camilo Vargas. And Colombia in a walking stance. John Lucumi from our right to our left sends it to the far side. Still 1-0 to Uzbekistan, and the match going on simultaneous with this one to close out play in Group K. That's out in Atlanta, Georgia. Both in the southeast. Left channel just inside the halfway line is James Rodriguez. Connected on for Machado. Machado drops. Lucumi plays it all the way across. Colombia to reset. And so far, no real sting in the Colombian attack in the first 7 minutes of this half. Long by Vargas into the middle of the field. Who's it going to drop to? It is to a yellow shirt. It's Jefferson Lerma. Lerma lays it out to his right. John Arias now from the right of the circle. Colombia very deliberate with what they're doing here. We did wonder if they would change tactics in this second half. Long ball by Arias. He was trying to send it long. It deflected back to him. Then it's hoisted up by Luis Diaz, and a yellow shirt arriving to it. It comes to the edge of the D for John Cordoba. Was surprised that the flag stayed down. Portugal's taken possession back, only for it to be robbed by John Arias. Arias out wide to his right. Now they're in the final third. His drop pass wasn't great. Portugal nearly forced a takeaway, and they have. And the red-shirted Portuguese are on it and charging up the left-hand side. A rampage here on the inside left channel. And it's rolled to the top of the box in the direction of Ronaldo. But stepping in front of it was David Machado. And Colombia chop it away. South Americans moving forward again. Los Cafeteros in the circle. It's John Cordoba. Out to his right, James Rodriguez. James nudged it out wide on the right-hand side. Then he got it back on a quick return. Places it into the middle, Gustavo Puerta. James for Puerta again. Puerta on right wing. Puts it all the way out on that far touchline. Arias handles, drops it back. A lot of Colombians just standing still right now, not doing a whole lot to try to get free, to make a run. They played it all the way back to the halfway line for Machado. Machado flexes it up the far side. James Rodriguez the drop for Arias. James once again on his left foot. He'll now serve it diagonally. Switch ball from right to left comes to Luis Diaz. Left to the penalty area. Diaz plays it back top left corner of the box. It was in the direction of Machado, who took a left-footed shot that was blocked by Neto. Back to Machado, then outside the area. Lerma long-range attempt punched out by Costa. And that skies all the way out into the middle of the field where Ronaldo was able to flick it on. And it's João Felix up the left-hand side. And he's grabbed back by Davinson Sanchez, who is in the full sprint to get possession back. Colombian fans applaud that effort. Colombia are back on the ball, now testing this near left side, where it's once again Luis Diaz squaring the ball into the middle of the field. Gustavo Puerta. Puerta plays it forward, handled by James. Back for Puerta as they play a game of catch. Now on the deck, Puerta rolls it right at the D. Long-range attempt is easily saved by Costa and John Arias. As we click over into the 56th minute, we remind you that the round of 32 begins tomorrow at this 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup. And we'll have the first of the knockout round games for you from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. It is South Africa and Canada, as Canada go away from their home nation, as they have dropped in the bracket out to the west coast of the United States to take on Bafana Bafana, who heroically qualified for a knockout round of a World Cup for the first time in their history. That's tomorrow, and we will be bringing you, of course, a large chunk of the percentage of knockout games from here on out of this World Cup here on this channel. Portugal into the attacking half here. They attack from our left to our right in this second half. Red shirts, white numbers, green trim, red shorts, red socks. The color of choice is red, as you may have picked up. Pedro Neto on this near right side. Back for Ronaldo, 50 yards from goal here, maybe even 60 yards as they backpedal. Vitinha, top of the circle in the attacking half. Vitinha will roll it out to his left. Received there by Veiga. Sent up the left touchline and slid towards the top left corner of the penalty area. Felix turns with a right-footed shot that was blocked through traffic, I believe, off of John Arias, who comes away with it. Puts it back to Santiago Arias. And now Colombia trying to clear. They haven't sent a long ball forward. Now they do. Davinson Sanchez, good sense prevails, as he will crank it upfield where it popcorns around. Who's got it? It's Portugal's Ruben Dias, who comes up with possession. And now Portugal take their time, just catching their breath for a moment here, reloading the attack. Laid out on the right-hand side, Pedro Neto right in front of Roberto Martinez in the technical area here. Neto feeds it back. Dallo strings it along, handled by Neves. Right of the circle, it's Dias. Dias looks to his right, gets it back on a quick return from Neves. Pressure came from Colombia's number 14, Gustavo Puerta. That forced Neves to play it all the way back to Costa. Another recycle for Portugal as we approach the 1 hour mark here. Group K finale for two teams that's already through into the knockout stage. But will they go through as group winners or runners-up? Neither can drop to third. Third place in this group contested by Uzbekistan and Congo, which is going on as we speak. And as you see, bottom of your screen is still 1-0 to Uzbekistan in the second half. Portugal are on the ball here. João Neves has curved it to the far side. Felix serves a ball in. Ronaldo was the target at the top of the 6-yard box. It's over his head, and it one-hops into the arms of Camilo Vargas. Not to get ahead of ourselves or anything here, but there is already talks about the World Cup expanding to 64 teams.
No, no.
Well, that's Seth's thoughts. I'll say this. I wish we never would have gone away from 32. But I got to tell you, if I had my thoughts on 48 versus 64, I think I'd go with 64. I don't like third place teams going in. It's just been so confusing for so many people. We'll pick up this conversation in a moment because
That's
Dallo has knifed a pass, and it's come to Ronaldo, who's dragged a shot left-footed wide. He may have been offside anyway. He was. The flag is up, but Ronaldo still had no sense missing that. Oh.
when you put it like that, that is fair. That is a fair point when you put it like that.
If I had it my way, we'd go back to 32. But if you're making me make a choice
Correct.
between 48 and 64, just go with the 64. And just give us 14 groups. What would that be? Would that be 16 groups of 4? Am I doing my math
Think
right on
so.
that? Yeah. Here's a double substitution coming for Colombia. Lerma and Cordoba are off, and they will be replaced by Richard Rios and Luis Suarez. Not the Uruguayan.
Yeah, not the one with buck teeth and a vampire soul.
Not Jaws. Sent long by Vargas. I just
Poor Branislav Ivanovic hears that every night.
Yeah. I just have to say, as Colombia possessing their own half played all the way back to Vargas, I just have to say I've spoken with a lot of friends. I always love when big soccer events, World Cup, the Copa America, which was in the United States a couple of years ago, the Euros, you have big event, even maybe the FIFA Club World Cup, depending on what you think about that. But I have a wide variety of friends that are fans of some sports but not all sports, as a long ball is sent into the Portuguese half, easily detected by Dallo, nudged on bat for Costa. And I always love asking them, what have you thought about insert big soccer event here? And I have been talking to a lot of different people about the World Cup, and the one thing that I keep hearing the most about is the confusion of how teams advance. And it was so much easier when you could just explain to people, you're in a group of 4, you play a round robin, and if you finish in the top 2 of the 4, you move on. Here's Colombia into the attacking third here from the right of the penalty area. Ball is cut towards the middle, and a one-touch shot is wide of the target from Richard Rios, who has missed
and
the
to
target.
piggyback off that,
Mm-hmm.
is it next year or 31? The women are going to 48 too.
Yes, they are going to 48, and now that you've asked the question, I could not tell you if that's next year in 31, but it is coming soon.
I'd like to tell you we'd have some action from that, but given the provider that we have, it might not be. We might not be getting as much of that. All I know, but we need to try. We need to sell ourselves. Here's your safe space from L. Duncan. Jimmy Traina on line 1.
And see, here's Colombia in the attacking half. We'll carry on as we can. Here's a ball up the left-hand side. Luis Diaz charging through, and he's had it stripped off his boot. And now Portugal are starting to look forward here from our left to our right. Dallo is moving forward. Lateral ball to the halfway line. Portugal towards the final third here as we still play without a goal through just over an hour, and we have a foul against Colombia. Rios, the substitute, fouled Vitinha. But see, it's also been striking for me because I've never been alive for a World Cup where third place teams have advanced. It's been striking for me through this week trying to figure out who's going to land where on the bracket, and you get in the knockout round bracket, and you get, well, the winner of this group could play the third place team from group GHIK. It's like, huh?
See, that was what was tough for me when I was filling out my bracket.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's bad.
here's Portugal on a free kick here, and the ball is scooped in towards Ronaldo, as you would expect, and he had two bodies around him, and I don't think it's hit any of the three bodies, and it's gone out for a goal kick. Ronaldo thought he was fouled, would you believe?
No.
Sanchez and Santiago Arias were the two that were around him. He also believes that it should be a Portugal corner. Now he might have an argument there, but they've given it as a goal kick to Colombia, and Colombia are on the ball here, and it's James in the circle, and he's fed one forward, and off his line was Costa. He has to retreat back, and for the right of the penalty area, shot taken, deflects off a body and goes wide. It was Luis Suarez that was in with an opportunity. It was a great ball forward by James, and Costa had to backpedal, and the shot was blocked by Veiga, and that put it across the face of goal and went out for what will be a Colombian corner. Set piece opportunity taken short, left of the penalty area. John Arias, James on the outside of his boot serves it in, and it's headed wide with no real pace behind it from Davinson Sanchez, who scored one goal in qualifying against Chile. CONMEBOL qualifying, which has long been quite the gauntlet. Colombia, of course, did not make it out of that CONMEBOL qualifying in 2022. Long ball up the near side. Out of play for what will be a Portugal throw. We remain without a goal here, but first half was entertaining. Second half through 20 minutes has not been the same, but Colombia with a takeaway off that Portugal throw, and they're on the front foot here. Moving ahead, Luis Suarez tried to lay it out to his right. It was a weak pass, took a deflection. It comes to Richard Rios. There's a Portugal player down in the middle of the field, but play is carried on, and Colombia are into the penalty area, and it's cut back for a shot by Arias, turned out by Costa. It was right at Costa, eye level. Got both hands on it to parry it away. It'll be another corner for Colombia here, and it may have taken a slight deflection off the face of Veiga.
Hey, we have a penalty for Congo, I believe.
Wow.
There's three men dressed like Vikings from a sword movie. What the hell is that? But Johan Visa is going to take the penalty. More in a minute.
James from the far flag delivers it in. Defensive header up by Veiga. Drops at the edge of the D for a long-range shot along the ground, which is dragged wide by Puerta.
All right.
We will stick with Seth here because we do have a Portugal player down, and we should be approaching the hydration break, which we might get here, so let's stick with Seth on this.
Johan Visa, bang! He scores and Congo have hope. It's 1-1.
Wow.
Keeper
Congo
goes the wrong way. Visa slots it into that bottom corner. So it's Congo 1, Uzbekistan 1. Back to you, Matthew, in the heat tower.
Well,
is Giannis there?
We do indeed hit the hydration break here. Just as you hear Congo draw level with Uzbekistan. So they've got about 20 minutes to try to pull out in front and keep their World Cup hopes alive. Let's see.
By the way, you're talking about a shock. You're talking about, you've been reporting some shocking news. Like Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga and Ronaldo, about that. Here's another one. Shane Van Gisbergen won the O'Reilly race at Sonoma.
Yeah, it's stunning. 2027 Women's World Cup in Brazil, 32 teams. 2031 will be 48 teams. And, of course, for more teams, we need more host nations. That 2031 Women's World Cup will be in the United States, Mexico, Jamaica, and Costa Rica.
The hell happened to Canada?
And oh, by the way, it's also come out this week already that the United States are looking to apply to be able to host the 2038 Men's World Cup. We're already looking ahead to 2038. Why wouldn't we? Portugal making a substitution here. João Felix coming off to be replaced by Rafael Leao. And also, it's Vitinha off for Samu Costa of Mallorca. Mallorca, birthplace of Rafael Nadal, starting Monday. It's the championships at Wimbledon. See?
Oh yeah, that does nothing for me this year because we can't use the music.
but you know the nice and neat segue there. That's what we try to keep.
That was good. That was a very, very good segue out of you. Here's a tweet from @1884DT. What you have to remember about the Spain-Cape Verde game is that in the last World Cup, Argentina did lose to Saudi Arabia and went on to win the whole thing. While they will be disappointed to draw 0-0, you can't rule Cape Verde out of winning the whole thing yet.
Play restarts out of the hydration break, and Colombia on the ball. As we've got 20 minutes plus stoppage time left here. Colombia 0 and Portugal 0. As up the left-hand side comes David Machado. Hits the brakes and turns away from the pressing Pedro Neto to turn it back to James Rodriguez. As it stands now, Colombia would go through as Group K winners. They and Portugal are already through into the knockout round. When it comes to advancing in this group, it's all about the Uzbekistan and Congo game ongoing in Atlanta. But again, Portugal with a win could swipe winning the group away from Colombia. Colombia just need a point, and they will be the group winners. And as you heard Seth Eaves say earlier about what that means as far as round of 32 matchup, the runner-up in this, or the winner of this group rather, plays Ghana in the round of 32. As here's Colombia on the ball. Inside left channel is James Rodriguez. Out on the left-hand side for David Machado. Machado started to creep forward just a bit, then dropped it for James, who on his left foot, between two defenders, rolls it back for Puerta. Forward ball to his right, handled by Rios, nearly stripped away by Samu Costa. Colombia hold possession as they're back into the center circle now. A reload here. Now a long ball splintered up the right-hand side, and that's detected and intercepted by Rafael Leao just on. And now a takeaway by John Arias, who takes it right out of Samu Costa's possession. And here comes Colombia, and a ball into the penalty area towards the penalty spot. Luis Suarez tried to get to his left foot. Wheel-around shot was blocked. Cleared up into the air by Ruben Dias. Poked forward by Bruno Fernandes in the direction of Cristiano Ronaldo. Instead, it comes back to James Rodriguez. Ladled out to his left. It's Luis Diaz. Serves it in. Defensive header out. Edge of the D. James with a hit! And off the head of Renato Veiga, and over for a corner. Well, that is heroic defending from Renato Veiga, because that had a lot of juice behind it from James, and it was heading on goal. Corner taken from the near flag, short by Luis Diaz, and apparently the Australian referee will make them do that again. He wasn't ready for it yet. Now it's taken short from the near flag by John Arias to Luis Diaz, who squares it. James shapes it in. It's a useful cross to the far post. It bounces around on the penalty spot, and a yellow shirt just got taken down by Vitinha. Was no whistle. They play on. Portugal clear. Now there's a foul. It's being called by Fagani, the referee. It's a foul on Colombia, apparently. But there was contact between Menj and Luis Suarez right on the penalty spot. Colombia were calling for a penalty. None given. By the way, just to finish off that point that I was making earlier that you heard Seth tell us earlier in the game. Winner of this group plays Ghana. Second place plays Croatia. So, again, as we have a foul on the near side going against Colombia, there is reason to go out and try to win the group. Double substitution coming here for Nestor Lorenzo in Colombia. Juan Fernando Quintero is about to check in. So too is Kevin Castaño. They haven't yet, though. They've allowed Portugal to take the throw and restart play here in the 75th minute. From the left of the circle, it's Veiga flexing it forward. Ronaldo out to Leao. Leao tripped up from behind. Is that a foul? It is not. As it rolls back to Vargas. And Colombia will now restart. Up the left-hand side they come as we cross over with 75 minutes complete. There's a foul going against Portugal, and that will allow the substitutions to come on for Colombia. Again, Kevin Castaño and Juan Fernando Quintero, teammates at River Plate, come in, and they replace James Rodriguez and John Arias. Colombian fans will come to their feet to salute James Rodriguez and John Arias. John in his first World Cup, James in his third. And a former Golden Boot winner at a World Cup, of course, James Rodriguez. That boy's a star. World Cup in Brazil 2014. Play restarts. And it bounces around here in the midfield, possessionless. Portugal come up with it now. Samu Costa twisting it up the far left side. Rafael Leao has it. Here's Leao. Poor touch as he's tried to chip and charge. Might get to it still off the left side of the penalty area. He hasn't, but it's a corner coming for Portugal because Santiago Arias could not stop it off of his left boot from going over the end line. So this is a corner. Of course, at the end of the night, group stage will be done, and all 16 of the round of 32 matchups will be set. Oh, Seth was asking if Giannis is here. I haven't seen him, but there's Jimmy Butler decked out in Colombian wear. He's got a nice sun hat on in Colombian colors.
Jimmy friggin' Buckets is here!
Supporting Colombia clearly. Portugal have a set-piece opportunity here. From the far flag, it's Bruno Fernandes who will deliver it, as he so often does. He's a great server of the ball in these set pieces. Ronaldo is in the goal as we speak. He might need to get out of it. He's behind the goalkeeper and below the goal line. Feel like I'm calling hockey again. Below the goal line. What? Anyway, here's Fernandes from the far flag. Right-footed, sends it in along the ground at the top of the box, and it's Dallo to curl one, right-footed and wide, to the left of Camilo Vargas. A lot of build-up there for an off-target attempt by Dallo, as it was two Manchester United men connecting there, Fernandes and Dallo. And much as what's happened for Manchester United over the last decade and a half, for the majority of it, there was a Manchester United connection that led to nothing. Here's Colombia on the ball. Up the right-hand side, Luis Suarez comes up the touchline to collect. Drops it off. And here come the South Americans on the ball as it's ladled up the left-hand side, and it's found Machado into the area from the left. Cuts it back to the spot looking for Luis Suarez. It didn't drop for him. Portugal have cleared it away. Charging back up this right touchline now is Pedro Neto. We have an update from Atlanta at our next stoppage, which we get now. A foul on Puerta. Throw in for Portugal. Let's go to Seth. Happenings in Atlanta.
A small touch that could mean oh so much. A cross into the box. It's not the biggest touch from Fisted My LA, but it's an effective one. 11 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Congo lead 2-1.
So Congo have turned it around against Uzbekistan. Here's Fernandes turning a ball into the left side of the penalty area, and Ronaldo's in for the left of the 6-yard box. His cross is headed away defensively by Davinson Sanchez. It's out for a corner for Portugal as we're into the 80th minute of this match here in Miami, where if there is a winner, the winner will win Group K. As it stands now at 0-0, Colombia would win it. Now they're saying that ball did not go over the end line, so it's not a corner. Looks like it's going to be a throw-in, apparently. Possibly. Nope, now they are putting it over to the far flag, so it will be a corner. And it'll be Bruno Fernandes who will take it again as the clock strikes 80 minutes here. Fernandes from the far flag. He's going to have as big of a run-up as he could possibly get, and he curls it in towards the near post, and it's dealt with beautifully by the Colombian defense, and it lands at the feet of Luis Diaz, who's waiting for support to come. He holds play in the middle of the field. Now he begins to charge forward, and a through ball sent up the left-hand side is well weighted. Left of the penalty area, Quintero tries to cut it back, but it's a very poor delivery. It's intercepted by the red shirts of Portugal, and the Europeans will bring it back forward. Long ball sent up the left-hand side. That was behind Leao. It went off the back of Santiago Arias. They both go towards it. They become entangled. Arias is down. Leao is down. It's a foul on Arias. It's a free kick for Portugal from the far channel. So again, with these scores as they are now, Colombia would win the group on 7 points. Portugal would go through as runners-up to play Croatia on 5 points, and Congo DR on 4 points would finish third. Play restarts off the Portugal free kick. They tried to elevate it up the far side for Ronaldo. Colombia's taken it away, but they've committed a foul on the far side. Oh, and did I just see a yellow card given to Richard Rios from the Australian referee as he took down Bruno Fernandes? So a free kick coming for Portugal. Final 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in this game. One substitution remaining for each of Roberto Martinez and Nestor Lorenzo. Winner of the group plays Ghana in the round of 32. Second place will play Croatia.
Just want to interrupt for just a split second. I have just got confirmation that if this score holds, Congo is going to the round of 32 as one of the best third-place teams.
What an enormous achievement that would be, as the free kick off the left-hand side is bolted in, and it's a defensive header away by Rios, but there's a foul going against Portugal. So Congo would move on if it stays this way. And again, if it stays this way, Colombia would play next Friday in Kansas City against Ghana, while Portugal would move on to play Croatia next Thursday up in Toronto. That would possibly set up, if Portugal were to beat Croatia, Seth, possibility of a Portugal and Spain round of 16. Nothing happened when those two played in Russia 8 years ago.
Oh, a spicy Iberian derby. I like it.
Here's Colombia on the ball in the middle of the field with Puerta. Up the left-hand side, Luis Diaz. The return for Puerta. So you see correctly on the bottom of your screen, Congo now lead Uzbekistan. They've come from behind to take the lead. Still here, it's 0-0. 84th minute. Searching for the first goal of the night in Miami. Colombia on the ball with the substitute, Juan Fernando Quintero, in his third World Cup with this Colombian team. And now they've reversed it back into the defensive half with Davinson Sanchez, and you do get the sense now they have put out a lot of energy over these 84 minutes, Colombia. They know that a draw wins them the group. They may be here to park the bus until they get to the finish line here. We'll see. They are in the attacking half on the far side. Red shirts all trying to get the ball away from Kevin Castaño, and they haven't been able to do that, so they played it on back for Davinson Sanchez. Laid out on the left-hand side for Lukumi. Perhaps Nestor Lorenzo just holding that final substitution in his back pocket to kill some time later, as up the middle, left-footed ball by Quintero was blocked. It ricocheted back to him. It comes out to Puerta. Puerta between two defenders. Gets it on a quick return from Diaz. Now to the edge of the D. Taken away by Portugal. Here's a chance for the Europeans to counter finally with the ball for the first time in a while. Near right channel, charging into the attacking half, Pedro Neto. Applies the brakes. Steers it on for Bruno Fernandes. Drop to the halfway line, Ruben Dias. Back this way then for Pedro Neto. Neto up the right touchline towards the final third. On an overlapping run to his right is Dallo. Instead, he turns it to his left. João Neves towards the top of the circle for Veiga. Veiga, who's had some big interventions defensively tonight. 85 minutes complete. Ronaldo touching the far side. He hasn't had many touches tonight, but here he is. Cutting a ball into the middle for Neves. Sends it out to his right, Dallo. Dallo inside right channel. He's 30 yards from goal. A forward ball for Neto. Neto top right corner of the box. On his left foot. Wanted to go back right. Now back on his left. Hoisting it. Using the width of the pitch to the far side for Leao. Leao against two Colombian defenders. One had fallen down. Leao to the end line. Crosses over the head of Ronaldo. Comes to the top of the box. Dallo could not handle it. Now he does. Dallo on his right foot serves it in. Towards the back post. Defensive header away. Ricochets out of play. Over the end line. Goal kick. It last went off Pedro Neto. That was promising from Portugal, but nothing in the back of the net still. Again, by the end of the night, the knockout bracket will be set. Only two more games remaining after these two from Group K finish out of. So we've had a yellow card given to Gustavo Puerta. Algeria and Austria kick off in about 40 minutes' time in Kansas City, and going alongside that are the world champions Argentina playing Jordan in Arlington, Texas. Final substitution here for Colombia, and it's Daniel Munoz coming on to replace Santiago Arias. So that is the final substitution for Nestor Lorenzo to make. Daniel Munoz, who has scored a goal in each of Colombia's games in this tournament, had the lone goal in the 1-0 victory over Congo. He had the opening goal in the 3-1 victory over Uzbekistan. Crystal Palace man coming off the bench in this game. He was the man of the match in the FA Cup final that Crystal Palace won in 2025. Here's Colombia moving forward up the right-hand side, and they've got some menace here for the right of the penalty area. Ball is crossed in off a body. It came to the back post. Airborne went Luis Suarez, and he couldn't reach it because of the defense of Ruben Dias, who stayed right there with him. Question will be, will this be a corner or a goal kick? Actually, it's neither. It's a Colombian throw from the near side. In quickly from Luis Diaz, left to the D. Ball served into the back post, and it was fizzed in by Quintero, and it came to the penalty spot, and it was scissor kicked high and off target by Luis Suarez. Oh, man. Well, it was a good delivery into the back post that Costa came and got a foot to. And then right to Luis Suarez, who got a lot behind it, but off target. Chaos there as we're into the penultimate minute of the 90 here in Miami. Many, many Colombian fans here would love an explosion of emotion here with a late winning goal. They've taken 22 shots in this game now. 6 have been on target. 22 shots is nearly doubled the 12 that Portugal has. They've only put 2 on target. It's been a really good attacking game. Just no goals to speak of. Ball out of play on the near side of Portugal. Throw to be taken quickly by Renato Veiga. Looks like Roberto Martinez is soon to be making his final substitution here. But first they're going to let Dallo throw this ball in. He does. He gets it back on a knotted return from Fernandes. Looks like the substitution that's going to come on is Matheus Nunes. But he's not on yet, though. We're into the 90th minute. That score on the bottom of your screen remains correct. Congo ahead of Uzbekistan to try to finish third in the group and advance. They are in a position to advance right now, Congo. We'll give you to Seth Eaves for bonus coverage of the finish of that match, if indeed we can. Portugal on the ball. And they've turned it over in the middle of the field here. And Colombia have it. Handled by Davinson Sanchez. Laid out to his right. Ball is cranked from right to left on a switch ball to the top left corner of the penalty area. Handled by Puerta. Gustavo Puerta from the left of the penalty area. As this clock is about to strike 90 minutes, and it does. Colombia on the ball, trying to finish this out to win this group. Ball is served in, top of the 6-yard box. Header was wildly off target. Comes to the left of the penalty area, however, for Machado, whose cross is blocked. It'll be a corner, and it's 5 added minutes.
No.
It's 5 added minutes here, and perhaps we have an update, but first the corner for the left of the penalty area. Machado plays it back from the left to the D, crosses it, and it's useful, and it's turned in on the back post! It's Davinson Sanchez! But the offside flag is up on the far side. Flag is up. Davinson Sanchez with a thunderous header at the back post to win the game for Colombia is not going to count. Meanwhile, let's go to Seth.
They could start the party in Kinshasa. Yohan Wissa is a national hero. Cuts over to his right, fires a shot past a helpless keeper. 3-1 Congo in the second of 8 minutes of stoppage time. It looks like the Congolese are heading for the round of 32.
They are checking this goal here from Davinson Sanchez. The flag was up. It is being checked. It all kicks off here right at the end of both games.
Wild celebrations in Atlanta from the Congo people, as you would imagine.
Yeah. The clock, top right of your screen, is now correct. We had a malfunction with the clock. 5 minutes added. We played 2 of those minutes. And the VAR check has come back and said no goal for Davinson Sanchez, who could have won it. Instead, Costa sends it long. Now an opportunity for Portugal to perhaps win it. So of the 5 minutes added on, we played basically half of it, but more will have to be added on because of that VAR check. Pedro Neto flips it near side. João Neves dropped it back. Here's Nunes. On back to the top of the circle, Dias. Out to his left, Veiga. On the far side, Leao. Here comes Rafael Leao charging into the penalty area from the left, and he takes a shot across the face of goal, and he's deposited it wide. Rafael Leao off the inside of his right boot, shooting for the far post of Camilo Vargas, and he's sent it across the face and off target. Will that be the last Portuguese chance? Again, they've got to add more time on because of the goal and then the VAR check. So we'll probably get more than the 5 that was promised, that we're just about 3.5 minutes into. What a frantic flurry here to end both of these Group K games. Goal kick sent away by Vargas into the middle of the field. Headed up in the air by a red shirt. Back up by David Machado. It drops in the circle for Leao, who tries to take off with it and does. Hands off to the inside left channel where Dias had it ripped away from him, and Colombia clear. It'll be a throw on the far side for Portugal near the halfway line. Now 1 minute left of the 5 that was added on, but again, we do not know how much will then be added on to that. Only the Australian referee on the field knows. Portugal's throw-in towards Leao. He fell down, might have gotten assisted down to the ground, but there was not a foul called. Colombia away with the ball, a bit clumsy trying to get forward on the counter, but Luis Diaz has staked it into the middle, and Puerta has gone by Neves, and Puerta places it. Diaz into the area from the left. A return for Puerta, top of the box, right-footed shot blocked. Ricochets to the edge of the D. Castaño lays it out to his right, rolled back in off his line. Costa detects it, slides to the ground and wraps his arms around the ball. And Costa's down here, holding the back of his head by the looks of it. May have gotten clipped on the way through by Daniel Munoz. Confirmation on the world feed that, oh my goodness, Davinson Sanchez, the amount that he was offside was by the width of his big toe. If
like
that.
I ran last night.
Oh my goodness. Five minutes have been played, as you see, top right of your screen. We'll see how much more gets added on. It's 8 minutes that's been added on to Uzbekistan and Congo. It's 3-1 Congo there. More than likely they're going to win and go through, but you never say never in any sport. So when this one wraps up, which should be in just a few seconds, we'll send you out to Seth Eaves to polish off a Congo victory in Atlanta, if indeed it is that, to send them forward into the knockout round. Portugal are handling the ball and not looking to go forward with it here very much. And it looks as if this will end in one of the most active and exciting 0-0 draws that you've ever seen. There is the full-time whistle, and it is over. It's finished 0-0 here, but the winner is Colombia. They win Group K. They will move on to play Ghana in the round of 32 in Kansas City. Portugal will head north of the border in Toronto. They will then play Croatia in the round of 32. It's finished in Miami. Colombia 0, Portugal 0. Colombia win Group K. Portugal finished second. We go to Seth Eaves, who will finish third.
Frostbite Nazuralev. Seth in Atlanta, 90 seconds away from one of the biggest sporting moments in the history of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. They lead Uzbekistan 3-1. Seth Eaves with you here for bonus coverage. Uzbekistan just trying to string some passes together, trying to find some kind of... They better hurry up here if they want to have a grandstand finish here. Again, only a win will do for Congo. Here's a long cross coming in that is deflected away. Here is a slice volley from Nazuralev. It was blocked. Nazuralev has gotten it back. That's a very poor back heel. That's going to go out of play. I believe it eluded Wan-Bissaka, and that should be enough. 50 seconds left. A big second half for Congo. A visa penalty. Then the goal from Mayele, who plays his club football for Pyramids in Egypt. That's not me making a joke. That's literally the name of the club, Pyramids. And the aforementioned Fiston Mayele goes down. Gets up after the long ball. 15 seconds left of the scheduled 8 minutes. Now, that Congo goal was at the very beginning of stoppage time, so they may add an extra minute here. But it can't be anything more than that. Wan-Bissaka has the ball, gives it now to Muwaku. We've had the 8 minutes. The referee blows for full time, and it's a Congolese celebration. Their first World Cup win is going to extend their stay in North America. They will advance as one of the best third-place teams out of Group K. What a game, what a night in Atlanta. The DR Congo, with goals from Visa, 2 from him and 1 from Mayele, canceled out the Sharumadov opener. It is finished DR Congo 3, Uzbekistan 1. Congo advanced to the round of 32 as one of the best third-place teams. As we quickly send it back to Miami and Matthew Owens.
What a finish and what a turnaround from Congo, who will now play England in the round of 32. that now confirmed, and you certainly have two very storybook kind of David versus Goliath round of 32 matchups, with Cape Verde taking on Messi in Argentina, and now Congo will take on Harry Kane in England. And with that, we are just about fully set on the knockout stage bracket of this World Cup. The 16 round of 32 matches are nearly all known now. We will just wait for the remaining results tonight to finish out group play in Group J, where you have Algeria and Austria playing in Kansas City, and Jordan and Argentina play in Arlington, Texas. Argentina's already through. Austria and Algeria are level on 3 points for second. Jordan still in the mix as well. They're on 0 points, but could still turn that around with a win themselves. And with that, Seth,
I love the World Cup.
It's just the best. The group stage is all but complete. It will be complete in about 2.5 hours from now. We'll come on the air for Canada and South Africa tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time from Los Angeles, the first of the knockout round games. And now, again, our bracket just about fully set. Where do we stand as we are on the eve, because I know we love using the word eve on anything anymore. Where are we on the eve of knockout round of 32 starting?
Oh, you want me to give an updated look at the bracket? Is that what you're doing? Okay, I got you.
How do you feel? What are you looking at?
Oh, you're saying you're gonna have to run through the full bracket. I don't know if I have that in front of me, but I feel good. I like the round of 32 matches that we have confirmed. Like you said, you've got a few that I think are obviously the David versus Goliath variety. Argentina, Cape Verde, and to an extent, England, Congo. Then you have, some of the games that I think are going to be interesting, that should be straightforward, but you never know if they will be. Germany, Paraguay, I think, falls into that. France, Sweden. To me, I feel like the marquee match of the round from a neutral perspective is going to be Brazil and Japan.
Yeah.
Or Netherlands, Morocco. Those are your two big ones. And then I'm going to throw you back to your days as a kid watching old NASCAR Busch and Nationwide Series races. You have the opportunity games, like South Africa against Canada, like Australia against Egypt. Those games will be fun. Ivory Coast, Norway, for those nations to get a shot at playing in the last 16, and so on and so forth. But what a day of World Cup action, and I tell you, I mean, just what a performance today by Congo, and good job by Colombia. Even though the match ended 0-0, they played very well today. Big Colombia, and they'll be a tough out for somebody. And of course, Colombia and Ghana, it's another quote unquote opportunity match. So I think the Colombian people probably feel like they don't call us that, and we should be in the mixer to begin with. But yes, going to be a lot of fun. I personally cannot wait for the excitement of it all. And the knockout fun starts tomorrow, partner.
Yeah.
And might be with you again. Who the heck knows? But it should be a good one between the Maple Leafs and the Bafana Bafana. Anyway, I'm pulling a JB and filibustering. I'll shut up right now.
So, indeed, the round of 32 just about fully set. Hope you enjoy the last two games of the night, wherever you're watching, however you're watching. Algeria, Austria, Jordan, Argentina comes your way. Kickoff of those two games in about 25 minutes. They've gone with the half-hour staggered starts today rather than the full hour. So we'll be with you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, as we mentioned, in Los Angeles, Canada, and South Africa to start the round of 32 and to start the knockout stage. It's just scanning here. Yeah, here we go. Switzerland will play who finishes third. Spain will play the winner of... I'll get it right in a minute. Spain will play the runner-up of Group J. Switzerland will play third place in Group J. So that is how we will finish out filling in the round of 32 bracket. Then we can well and truly fill out a real bracket without having to figure out third place permutations and all that. Because Americans, if we love anything, if American sports fans love anything, it is filling out a bracket. And we have a true one to fill out. But you have to do it quickly. Because you have to do it before 3 o'clock tomorrow. Join the bracket challenge. No. All right. That is it from us here in Miami. As you see, full-time here, Colombia 0 and Portugal 0. Elsewhere in Atlanta, Congo comes from behind to beat Uzbekistan 3-1. It's Colombia, the winners of Group K. Portugal advances runners-up, and Congo finish third, and they too advance. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, we say so long from Miami.